Hi guys, this is Cobra Tom,
And Venom Lily.
and we are going to do a video today. And that video is G.I. Joe. Yo Joe. In this video, we are going to be doing Blocker and the Eliminator Jeep. Here, I'm going to just quickly show you the file card. I will let you look at that. Pause that and read that. So I'm going to take the figures away for just a moment. We're going to focus on the vehicle. This one's a little bit of one of the better ones. This one has one. That might be it. Well, it can fit a figure here and a figure here. I think it's... I am mistaken on how to open this one. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I think it's a front-loaded one. I kind of can't tell. But okay. So we'll pick our blocker here, and we'll put our yeah, maybe we have to set that aside. Okay. Okay. Now, I know why people have a problem with this vehicle. There's a couple problems. Number one, Blocker, when sitting down in his own vehicle, his head sticks out. And if he crashes, that roll guard does nothing for you and does not help you. And I can see why that's a big problem for most people. What also happens, this has nice wheels, they roll nice. Well, kind of nice. But what this does have is turning axles here and back axles, which is new for that. But what happens is a lot of times you find these two, one or the other or both, because kids are kids and they're playing with their toys and kids can be kind of rough, break that, and both axles are broken and then the wheels are useless. So that does have a bad reputation. Thankfully, mine still has its joystick here. So let me get another figure. He's sitting straight. And you can actually put a fourth figure on here. I just noticed that this has foot pegs. So technically, you could, I mean, it would look too crowded. But you can put one here on the foot peg. Here, I am going to put, Alpine. Whoops. Might have to bend his elbows and knees here a little bit, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. All right, he's just putting his feet up. That looks good to me. This foot peg is not in the best position, but I think I'll be able to get a figure on there. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. And then I will have Blizzard here. Mr. I think Nadali is his name. And let's see. there we go. We can have him kind of looking like he's using the laser. So this is a little bit better. This has 4 places for a figure instead of just 3 or none. But this is pretty good. It's got a joystick there, so he could be running the laser by himself, or we can go to its second mode. Just give me a second. On this vehicle, as you can kind of sort of see, it's a seam, and it's like two things together. Oops. And see, with that off, I'll show that in just a second here. I'll show you what you can do with this in just a second. But with that up, he's got a little loose. What you're able to do is, oops. Oh, okay. I will actually quick show you the engine detail. I was able to take the cover off. Very nice. Here is what's on all of them. Here's the lock and unlock positions. And I don't think, I thought for a second that this was the fuel gauge, or the fuel port, but it's kind of not. It's that. Now what you're supposed to do is be able to lift that up, and I'm going to put this back before I lose it. And it doesn't have a ratchet, but it does have, at least mine does. I got this from Freak Toys. This was a little bit expensive for a Battle Force 2000 toy, I think. But it had all of its working pieces, and not only did it have all of its missiles, but the missile platform rises up and lowers and actually stays in a position that you'd want for firing. So it's got 6 missiles there, and now with the canopy off, you can access even more foot pegs. And then this does actually kind of become a troop carrier. So while some of the others seem like once you take the thing off, you kind of lose some of it, like some of the toy here. There we go. Now you've got a troop transport and the tow hook, or once again, towing in field artillery. Oops, Tom, put it on the right side. Pay attention to what you're doing. And now you could tow in field artillery. Look at that. That is nice. Okay. Here is one of the other problems people kind of sort of have. Not only does the canopy not really open up right, not only does his head stick out, but the gun also has a big hole in it. Now, there might have been something that was supposed to go there, but it's hollow, and it just looks bad. But it does do a little more than 180 degrees. And what I'm guessing are laser cannons do have some articulations. Not a great deal, but hey, it does have some. The problem that I have with this one is if you're going to go to the trouble of putting a thing on here, cover the figure. That's my biggest problem with this one. I like the second feature. I like the foot pegs. I like this part, although I never use it because I'm afraid I'm going to break it. I like that it's got a tow hook and that you can bring other pieces into the battle. So that's really cool. Mine just doesn't roll very well. I think quite possibly it's just doesn't roll very well. And this one has a really nice look to the Jeep. If it just had the cover, I think I'd like this one way more. Now I'm going to go into its second mode, and I will bring out Salvo here. And I will bring out Blizzard here. Now what you're supposed to do is in its second mode to make it more of a battle station. There are legs here that are very well hidden. You wouldn't see them. And you click them down, click this one down, click this one down, and this one down. And there you have your tactical battle station. And if you say had taken this, you could actually have, and then if you bring in, say, something like this, this would give you quite a lot of firepower for such a little battle station. You could, I mean, yes, I mean, any battlefield station and things would be helped out with another toy. Okay, I get that. But you'd have the battle station here. He's maybe looking at the monitors there. He can guide the gun. Somebody can be off, like, using the howitzer. And, you know, with just a few short things, you would have a very nice playset right here. Just this alone. Just this alone is a nice little playset where you could be, okay, out in the forest or something and you needed a command post. This would look really nice. Okay, I am going to go with, I'll show you, Blocker technically came with, well, one, maybe two accessories. The first one came with a clear visor. And it's not supposed to be removable, but you can. I'm not going to because I don't want to break my figure or lose the visor. So, but you can see here that it's got just a tiny tinge of like now that could just be like years of wear, but it does have kind of a yellow tint to it. Now that could just simply be that it's clear plastic that's just yellowed a bit. So that could just be mine. I could be wrong. Maybe it's supposed to be a lot more clear than that. But it does have a touch of like a yellowish tint to it. Now, his weapon, which is this, which has a nice handle, actually. This is really nice because you can sling it over the shoulder. And you can kind of have him kind of, have it slung over the shoulder like that. And that looks good. That looks really good. Now, this gun is cool. It looks cool. It looks good. Looks a tiny bit futuristic, but you know, you can kind of see how it's got like a cocking handle that you'd pull back, kind of like a revolver, sort of. It's got a bit of a hand guard, like a real small one, but you know, I mean, that's a figure size hand grip, or a hand protector. And you could probably say that this is where the ammunition would go, because it looks like little magazine clips. Now, I will say what this is. XL-13 light refraction submachine laser pistol. I don't know what this is. It's a sleek silver weapon. Blocker is a driver. It allows him to be a sharpshooter. I have no idea what this gun is. I've tried to look up the explanation. I've tried to get what this is supposed to be. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what this gun is. Right, a pistol, a light. What is it? I have to go back to my. A light refraction submachine laser pistol. So it's a submachine pistol. I don't know if it's supposed to deflect light. I don't know. Okay. The phenomenon of light, radio, etc. being deflected and passing opaquely through the interference between one medium or another. Yeah, okay. I'm not smart enough to know what any of this means. What I think it does, and what I think it does, I could be completely wrong. I do not know. If anybody actually knows, please tell me. I am very curious. I always just pretend that this is a gun. I don't actually ever. Actually, I don't even use the gun. I keep it in a bag, and I just set it aside, and I never use it. Since it's refracting, I think it's supposed to use a laser that's like to deflect. I think he deflects with his gun light sensors from other objects. I think. I'm sorry, I don't really know. I don't quite understand what his job is. But the gun can fit in his hand, and doesn't fit great. The handle doesn't fit super great in his hand. Maybe the other hand. Yeah, that's a little better. It's not great. It's going to fall if you put too much, but it does fit a little better in the right hand. So I suppose you could have him have that. Now, other than there's a couple of differences between this figure, and it's not just the visor. You also have a couple of painting pieces here. I'm trying to find the front one, because I know the front one has a different Bear with me a moment. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, here we go. I knew it was a tiny bit different. It's going to be very difficult to tell. But as you can see, the brown on this figure, the camouflage, while I like it, don't get me wrong, the camouflage is not my problem. But what makes it different is, see how the lines are thicker or seem fairly thick. But then when you get to this one, the paint is much thinner. And as you can see, hopefully you can see that the line on this one and this are much thicker. This one's much thicker and this one's much thinner. And this one on this leg is the exact same. Thinner here, thicker here. And you might have some, like there might be a little bit of difference in the pattern, but on the back, like here and here, and the side of the leg there, inside of the leg there, are, this one's thicker and this one's much thinner. And the one with no visor is also missing some of the paint. They went a little cheaper on the paint scheme, because even on the helmet, the paint is like the scheme is the same, but the painting is much different. And while it is such a minor thing that you probably wouldn't even notice unless somebody pointed it out, but on the non-visor one, he has just gray. Probably the casting of the plastic. But on this one, with the visor, you have a little red there. Why? I do not know. I don't quite understand the difference. I believe, now I could be wrong, once again, I'm not positive, but I do think that this one is first because it had the visor and the different. So I'm wondering if they decided to make the second version, we'll just call it V2 here, with the no visor, give it thicker paint so it covers better, or looks a little nicer, but then gave up the visor and cut this part out to make the camouflage look nicer. I don't know that for sure, but it is definitely, thank you for bearing with me for a moment, but it's very difficult when you just have them standing here to tell the difference. That's why it took me a minute to remember what was different about the two figures. What I have here is I had bought this, and see, you could see that it does have a bit of yellow tint to it. And I'm not good enough, but I always thought, now I didn't need to do that because I was able to buy one complete, but I thought I would end up having to buy a blocker version that just had the holes, and then I was going to have to just put this in there myself and kind of like cram it in there the best I could. So this is what it looks like outside of the package, or off the figure, I mean. It's very small. My fingernail is bigger, my fingernails are almost as thick as it is. So it's very thin. It's very nice. It does have a bit of a yellow tint to it. Now, I'm not saying that that's for every single one. But I have noticed that the two that I actually have the same kind of tinting. So it is very possible that that's just how they were made. Now, just to kind of take a piece of my childhood memory that I have, if you can indulge me a moment. I had Maverick, and I will go get one. And Maverick and Blocker. Maverick is probably my favorite Joe, but not my favorite figure, because Big Boa is my favorite figure. Now, when I was a kid, my friends and I had a friend, well, his name was Derek, and he liked this figure. And he was, we didn't really use the names, and like I said in the last one, I think we used these figures as space, not really G.I. Joe. So he was Derek Cool, and I was Thomas Cool. And since his name is already Thomas, we didn't have to change that much. And we had the starship, the Cool Star. And these were the pilots for him. And he was captain and he was commander. And it was a lot of fun. I know that this is kind of a childhood thing, but it was cool, and it's kind of fun to think back on some of the stuff that I used to do and how we used to play with our Joes. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications so you never miss one of our awesome videos. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you
next time.
Bye.
Bye.